Alright, so like I said, I am not gonna do a video on this scumbag who did the shooting in New Zealand, but I am gonna do a reply video to somebody who basically is who can't let a good tragedy go to waste. You know what I mean? Who has to go over there before the bodies are even cold and start pushing their agenda. So I already know it's right wing this, right wing that, and everything else. This dude had his own ideology. However, if I really wanted to, I could claim this dude is a liberal. He's fairly easy. Let's see. So, you know what? Let's see. I'm gonna go to these. You can hear my mouse click. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it's one of the questions is why'd you target those people? They were obviously visible in large groups of invaders from a culture with high fertility rates. I'd never known Muslim people to be known for high fertility rates. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Higher social trust and strong, robust traditions that seek to occupy my people's lands. Okay, first of all, let's be honest. People wouldn't be talking about how they're marginalized. They wouldn't be all up in arms over, Islamophobia if they were a group of high trust, of higher trust and strong, robust traditions. Strong, robust traditions point out someone's culture when you're a racist, talking about how good it is, does not sound like something a racist would do.
Make for the pod and gear up.
Let's see, why should you use firearms? I could have chosen any weapon in means of a TATP-filled rental van, household flower, method of dispersion, of an ignition source, a ball pen hammer. It just basically goes on. I'll read it anyway. Ball pen hammer, wooden shield, and a wooden shield, gas fire, vehicular attacks, plane attacks by any means were available. I had the will and I had all the resources. I chose firearms for the effect it will have on social discourse. The extra media coverage it would provide the effect I could have on the politics of the United States and thereby the political situations of the world. The U.S. is torn into many factions by its Second Amendment, along state, social, cultural, and most importantly, racial lines. With enough pressure, the left wing within the United States will seek to abolish the Second Amendment, and the right wing within the U.S. will see this as an attack to their freedom, the very freedom and liberty. This attempt to abolish rights by the left will result in dramatic polarization of the people of the United States and eventually fracturing the U.S. along cultural and racial lines. You're basically playing in this guy's hand. Did you intend to survive the attack? He says, yeah, but you knew death was a possibility. They ask here, or are you a conservative? No, conservatism is corporatism in disguise. I want no part of it. Or are you right-wing? Depending on the definition, sure. Or are you left-wing? Depending on the definition, sure. Or are you supporter of Donald Trump as a symbol of renowned white identity? Keep in mind the left gave him that, just like they gave Pepe that identity. Sure. As a policymaker and leader, dear God, no. In other words, he hates Trump's policies. He doesn't agree with Trump. So that kind of just tells me, as a racist, he just sees him as a symbol. Or you supporter of Brexit. Yes, though not the far the official policy made. The truth is, and eventually people must face the fact that it wasn't a damn thing to do with the economy. That it was the British people firing back in mass immigration, cultural displacement, and globalism. Okay, I'm sorry. I've seen Zarganovic's videos, and I'm not saying that he speaks for everyone, but he does have quite a few followers. I imagine a good amount are in Britain. He's one of the ones saying, I forgot the other guy who got arrested who was basically saying the same thing, that it's not they don't care about who goes there. They are in no way that I see who they're saying, we don't want foreigners or we don't want people coming to our nation. They just didn't want to be part of the EU anymore. That was it. This guy's basically like a human troll or a living troll. When your attacks result in the removal of guns rights from whites in the United States. Yes, but that was a plan all along. You said you would fight to protect your rights in the Constitution. Well, soon when the time will come. This guy wants to start a civil war, and he knows the media is going to give him what he wants, or he's going to help him give what he wants. When your attack, this goes on about New Zealand, and he was saying how they pretty much He basically calls them beta males, a bunch of baby boomers who have long since given up the fight. Why do you blame my immigrants and not capitalists? I blame both and plan to deal with both.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, here they ask him about conservatism, and one of his things is conservatism is dead, thank God. And don't get me wrong, he bashes Antifa. He says, see you on the streets, you anti-white scum. Emotions roll over facts. Call me crazy, but isn't this more something from the left? The fact that, that's where it's like, oh, a man can be a woman because he feels like that. There's 37 genders because you can't determine how someone feels. Never mind X and Y chromosomes. Never mind epigenetics. Never mind, whatever. Honestly, just think about that. It goes on, stop trying to persuade the general population with statistics, charts, tablets, and figures. A 1.7 percentage point difference may mean something to a few, but ingeniously worded expressions and brilliantly crafted posture will convince the many.
Ammo's fine.
I'm just... Yes. Oh, here we go. Here he is saying about it's never wise to become a minority group. In every country and every continent, those that are a minority are oppressed. If you become a social, political, ethnic minority, it will always lead to your oppression. Whether you're a political minority, therefore lose control of the majority of power, thus lose control of the laws, regulations, and so on. Those that find themselves born linguistically in the minority suffer daily as the conversations on life exclude them, the mass media isolates them, the businessmen turn them away, and there's a social and society speech itself. Finally, there are such things as that there are those who find themselves in the ethnic and racial minority and find their way in their own genes being bred out of the existence through miscegenation and differing racial birth rates. The same people will find themselves gradually less and less represented both politically and culturally, becoming essentially foreigners in their own lands. Minorities are never treated well, do not become one. Call me crazy, but isn't that exactly what the left says all the damn time? You know how, oh, minorities, such as someone like me, are treated so terribly in the United States, and so on. Globalized capitalist market are the aim of their racial autonomies. I'm not going to bother reading all this crap. Break the back of cheap labor. He's just going cheap labor. Slave labor, refuse to import modern slaves. He basically even says break his back, whether that is encouraging and pushing increase to minimum wage, so basically $15 an hour. Exactly what the lefts go for. Boil it over to the melting pot. Here's just bashing the melting pot. The myth of melting pot must end, and with it the myth of egalitarian nation. Let's see. So yes, this guy is just a nut job. And honestly, people who are sitting there talking about how, oh, he's a radical right-winger, and so on, don't know what the hell they're talking about. And here's another one makes you believe you can speak for. I speak for my views and my ideals. And those that support me some may agree, some with them, others won't. In other words, this guy's not part of any group. It's the media, it's odds are the left, I'll say the far left, who are sitting there trying to make it something that it isn't. And one person just deploys and take control. If we want to radically and fundamentally change society, then we need to radicalize society as much as possible. Do not fear change, we are change. Call me crazy, but isn't that a left-leaning thing? Like I said, this video is again for someone who leans left, who's trying to make this out to be a right-winger. However, I have put quotes from this guy where he's saying he has no party, such as he's not a conservative, he's not a liberal. That is pretty much what I want to talk about. Like I said, I could have easily took out any of this and ran with that. I could have easily just selected something, put my own little agenda, and left it there. However, I'm not going to do that. This video was not meant to give this guy support. I do not like covering these things because I think these people are trash. I think they're scum. I do not want to cover this kind of story. This is a response video to somebody trying to make this something that it isn't, and that's political. This video is for somebody who is trying to help, who is basically, what they're trying, I should say, I don't know if they are, but it is meant for somebody who is unknowingly helping him get what he wants. He wants to start a civil war, not just in the US, but everywhere.
I'm about to shut the door.
Why? Because he knows his attack is gonna get some radical. I'll say radical Muslim, and I do mean radical, not your everyday, one off the street, to do something, to get them to commit an attack in revenge. And then somebody else who's on the verge is going to sit there and say, oh my god, that guy was right. Because honestly, he does talk about how he did it for revenge for somebody. He even says that's when everything changed for him. He talks about how, it was some girl, I forget, who got hit by a van, or by a stolen car. Not van, but got hit by a stolen car, and that's when everything for him changed. He did all this out of revenge. And if I can find it. But yeah, I mean, he just... Again, I'm not supporting, I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's right. I'm simply saying he had a reason that was good for him. He had his reason. Yes, I mean, I don't agree with anything this man says. At least from what I've read. Never mind, the only thing I can agree with him on is something I said myself, which is, everyone always says somebody should do something. You should realize you are somebody. And it pisses me off so much that he took that. You have no idea how much that gets on my nerves. That was something that I actually truly believed in. That if I can find it, I'll put it in the damn video, but that does bother me. Because that's what, those words, that idea is what got me to start donating to places like LifeWorks and the Children's Hospital. Because I always heard people sit there and say, well, somebody should help, somebody should do this, somebody should do that, somebody should do something. I got mad one day and I told somebody, well, you are somebody.
Spend freely. Things are about to
And then I realized, well, so am I. And I thought the same thing. I just didn't believe in taxing people for it.
No one died that time. Merveilleux.
Someone turned down the thermostat.
And to read those words from some psychopath who just wants to start a civil war because, to steal a quote from The Dark Knight, some people just want to watch the world burn.
Feeling grand, aye.
It does sicken me. And it does bother me. You guys have no idea.
There you go.
And I'm even, like I said, I'm admitting because I'm honest.
Zeds are getting closer. That equipment's too
But
heavy.
it does.
Try something.
Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. So to the person who made this video, I'm actually making this video before you made yours, or before I seen yours. But I know somebody's gonna do it, and I know someone's gonna try and turn this into something they shouldn't. Because I've already seen the news media. They even took him stealing what is it? I forget. It's the whole thing about 300 confirmed kills, the whole Call of Duty thing, where he says he's a Navy SEAL and stuff, and they were like, oh, from what we understand, he was a Navy SEAL, he was in the military. No. I pretty much knew your argument. How you're gonna use, oh, he says he likes Trump, and he was a racist, and how he said this and he said that, but no proof. I'm gonna show proof in mine. I never met this guy, but I hate him. And I won't dehumanize him, because dehumanizing people is what got us to so much hate in the world. But that doesn't mean I have to like him. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is not a video about him. This is just a video where I'm angry at somebody's trying to turn this into something. Fuck the guy who did this. I don't give a damn about him. But don't turn this into something that it's not, and don't help him give him what he wants, creating a divide and causing more hate than there needs to be. Just let it die with him and shut your mouth. Stop seeing these guys as newsworthy and talking about them. They're nothing, they're scum. Anyway, you guys take care. I'll see y'all next time.
Lost.